Hi, welcome to this channel. My name is Aparna Pednekar. I've been a journalist in the travel and lifestyle space since 16 to 20 years. I've written for titles like Vogue, Elle, HT Mint Lounge, Travel and Leisure. What else have I written for? The Hindu, Lifestyle Asia, amongst other publications, online as well as print. I'm also a trained gemologist and jewelry designer here at Swapnanjali Jewelry Studio in Pune. We design and handcraft 18 karat gold as well as silver jewelry studded with natural gemstones. Now, today's story is really interesting. It's about one of the most famous diamonds in the world, and no, it's not the Kohinoor. Getting into this story, haha, funny. It begins in the year 1853 when a woman slave discovered a massive diamond rough, almost 260 carat, in the alluvial deposits of the Bagajam River in central Brazil. The mine may have looked something like this. To give you a quick context, ever since the first diamond mines were discovered in Brazil in the late 16th century, for the next 150 years, the country was the world's premier source of gem quality diamonds until it was replaced by the mines in South Africa in the 1860s. So all these early years, it was very common practice for the slaves who worked in the mines to hide and smuggle the diamonds, obviously to escape their situation and get a better life. But the woman had a different approach, and what she did next changed not just the course of history but her own life as well. This woman very beautifully went and handed this massive diamond rough to the owner of the mine, a gentleman called Casimiro de Tal. Casimiro was very pleased and immediately granted her a lifetime of liberation. He said, Ja Simran Jile apni zindagi. Not just that, he also granted her the right to earn a wage for her labor for the rest of her working years. Let's take a moment for that to sink in. Yeah. Now, Casimiro, as generous as he was a terrible businessman. He sold the diamond rough to an unidentified buyer for 3,000 British sterling pounds. That buyer, who I strongly suspect was a Gujarati chap, went right away and deposited it in a locker in the Bank of Rio de Janeiro. The security deposit itself for that locker, or for that diamond in the locker, was 30,000 pounds. So, uska udhar hi deal ban gaya. Now in 1855, the rough was sold to the Hafen brothers from France. They were diamond specialists. They named it the Etoile du Sud, Star of the South. The Portuguese translation of that name is Estrella do Sol, and that was the name given to the city of its origin. The Hafen brothers exhibited the diamond rough in the Paris Industrial Exhibition in 1855 itself. They also exhibited it in London. In the year 1856 or 1857, they sent it to Amsterdam to the facilities of the Royal Costa Company, which was the 19th century's most famous diamond cutting company. The stone came in the hands of their master specialist, a man whose name I always forget, so I try to rhyme it with Zoolander. His name, I kid you not, was Louis Vuzanger. He was the same guy who had cut and polished one of the men who had cut and polished the very famous Kohinoor diamond just a few years ago, and he now worked at the Star of the South, cut it almost to half its size, but an absolutely stunning, flawless, unblemished 128.48 carat cushion shaped fancy pink brown diamond. By this time, of course, it had started to gain a lot of attention. There was an attempt made by an Indian Maharaja to buy it, but that deal did not come through. But it had caught the eye of one of the greatest diamond collectors ever. He was a gentleman who had bought, it appears, the entire diamond collection of Empress Josephine of France, the wife of Napoleon III. This was none other than Maharaja Khanderao Gaikwad of the Baroda princely state. He bought the Star of the South for a princely 80,000 British sterling pounds. What happened next? In the 1880s, the Gaikwad royal family had the Star of the South set in this stunning 3-tier diamond necklace. It was the centerpiece, along with another diamond, the English Dresden, which had a journey that was parallel to the Star of the South. This was a pear-shaped diamond, and Maharaja Khanderao Gaikwad bought it from the same gentleman who had brokered the deal for him for the Star of the South. This was obviously a guy called Dresden, and he bought the English Dresden for him and from him, and both these stones were the centerpiece of this stunning necklace. Now, in the early 19th century, Maharaja Sayaji Rao Gaikwad and his wife, the remarkable Chimnabai, were this extraordinary royal couple. If you want to hear more about them, watch this video. They were responsible for the transformation of Baroda, for the progress of Baroda. They also worked tirelessly towards the emancipation of women. Maharaja Sayaji Rao Gaikwad was a very simple man. He wasn't terribly fond of jewels and rarely wore them. It appears that he went once to a darbar, a British darbar, without wearing any jewels. They were rather scandalized. They said, please go back and wear something at least. But he had himself photographed in the Star of the South necklace, and I think he looks absolutely marvelous. What do you think? I think it's terrific as inspiration for men to wear more statement jewels. He looks very regal, he looks stunning. The next public appearance or publicly photographed appearance of the Star of the South necklace was in 1948, when it was worn by Sayaji Rao's granddaughter-in-law, Maharani Sita Devi. She was shot by, the photograph was shot by very famous French photographer Henri Bresson. I forget his full name, I'm going to put it here. He had come to India and shot a series of very evocative images. This was one of the images of a newly independent India. After this, the necklace wasn't seen for many years, obviously because after independence, the princely states had to cede to the Indian state. There were a lot of family feuds. There were also a lot of taxes levied on the very valuable ornaments and the jewelry that the princely states had. So nobody really heard of the necklace for many years, until as late as the 2000s, when it is said that it was very discreetly sold to a Parsi gentleman in Bombay. He in turn sold it to the Cartiers in 2002, and the Cartiers set it in this beautiful bracelet. And after a gap of almost 70 years, it was seen publicly on the wrist of Sheikha Moza of Qatar, who wore it to the wedding festivities of the royal couple of Jordan in Amman. After that, it has been exhibited, the bracelet with the Star of the South has been exhibited at the Victoria and Albert Museum. It is said to be there only until November 2025. So if you're in London, go right away and have a look at it. I have no idea where it's going to go next, but what a fabulous journey it has had, and what a colourful cast of characters. I am going to make a separate video on Maharani Gayatri Devi, because not Gayatri Devi, on Maharani Sita Devi, because she definitely deserves a video, especially in our times, but I will talk more about that video then. If you enjoyed this video, then please like this, share it with your friends, and do subscribe to the channel. I will see you the next time.